Hello everyone! In this video I will be showing you how to make this Dwarven Brewhouse from the notoriously popular Grudge of Drong campaign box for Warhammer 4th edition. Grudge of Drong was the final campaign box to release and was the last set to include any punch-out scenery from Games Workshop. I start by taking a piece of Scalpy and flattening it with my rolling pin. After that I grab my texture roller and create this really nice flagstone sheet. I texture it further with a small stone from my backyard, giving it a really nice, natural, worn-out look. After the sheet is nice and textured, I grab my templates and start cutting out the basic shapes that will form the main body of the house. Unfortunately, I do not own the original Grudge of Drong paper buildings, but my friend did, and he did me a real solid by disassembling the kit and making these templates. I forgot to cut the windows, but luckily I noticed it before making the pieces. I made a simple door using wood grain texture roller before baking. After the pieces have been baked once, I make a door frame from a strip of Scalpy, which I'll texture with a rock and cut into tiny pieces. The chimney of the original paper building had a really small intricate pattern circling the piece. First I'm cutting the piece that will act as the frames and the base out of plastic card. Then I take a sheet of stickers I found from supermarket and pick the pattern I like the most. Sadly I run out of plastic art, so I'm going to make a press mold to make copies from Scalpy. Once the parts are ready, I start to assemble the distillery, starting with the chimney. I've glued the first detail pieces and the back wall, and next I'm gluing the rest of the walls. As you can see, I've also added strips of plastic art to the door. After the walls and the chimney are glued together, I take my self-made universal building accessories mold. I use UV resin from Green Stuff World to make window frames. You can use any casting material, but I prefer UV resin because it cures fast and it's really easy to use. Once I have all my windows ready, I sand the edges with my Dremel and some sandpaper so there will be no gaps when they're glued to the walls. After gluing the windows and additional details, I glue in the base for the roof. I make roofing shingles from a thin sheet of cardboard by cutting 5mm wide strips and then cutting them to smaller pieces. Once I have a pile of shingles, I start to glue them to the roof in messy lines. This will take some time, but the result will be worth it. Before priming, I decided I didn't like the edges of the roof, so I got additional wood grain strips and made roof edges. After which I primed the whole distillery with brown primer. I paint the walls and windows with mixtures of dark grays and khaki, dry brushed over several layers. I really like the old Warhammer paper buildings. Much like the old Hero Quest furniture, they can be used in almost any war or role-playing game. Once the walls are dried, I apply a thinned wash of Seraphim sepia all over the stonework. I paint the roof with a base mixture of black, blue and shadow grey. I follow the base coat by dry brushing the same mixture with additional shadow grey added to the mix. I do the first highlights with light dry brush of shadow grey and blue. I apply a final highlight by dry brushing the whole distillery with pure white. After the distillery is fully painted, I make the resin windows. I take a drop of the UV resin and press it against the window frames, making sure the resin covers all of the holes. This creates really nice and realistic windows. I should have waited before attaching the windows, so this step would be easier, but I was streaming the build on Twitch and got a little bit impatient. After the windows have cured, I painted the base with Vallejo's Earth texture paint. I apply the first layer of flock covering the whole base. After the first layer of flock is done, I start to apply flock directly onto small crevices and corners of the distillery. This will create a really nice natural look befitting of a really old stone building. I apply another layer of spring flock in patches on top of the first layer of green flock. This will create a nice variation of greens and makes the base look more realistic. Finally, I apply green foliage in small patches all over the base and the corners. After the flock has dried, the distillery is complete. I've made small hole in the bottom of the base to house a small LED light. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.